What's up, Tanner J-Man Show Nation? This is Tanner Lee, one half of the Tanner J-Man Show, and on behalf of myself and my co-host Josh the J-Man Munt, we appreciate you listening to our podcast. If you're a new listener to our podcast, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts at. If that happens to be on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review, as that helps us out a bunch. Watch our podcast live every Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on the ISC Sports Network, and make sure to give us a like on Facebook and a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy some hot takes, topics, picks, and more on a brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show.
It is Monday night. I hope you can see me because my computer just froze.
I got you.
I don't know if I was a little late coming in, but it is another Monday night. Hard to believe it's already Monday. It seems like we were just doing this like yesterday, but it is another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show, number 288, I believe. Is that what
288? You got it. 288 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
that's a lot of pods.
Yeah, when our first episode was the Monday after Thanksgiving 2016, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's we might not be the most popular, we might not have the most listens or anything like that, but hey, 288 consecutive weeks is something to be proud of, I think.
Yeah, we stayed constant. You shared a video on our Facebook page yesterday, I believe. It was May 22nd, 2017, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Things done changed since then.
Well, yeah. We started recording this. You were beardless and you had more hair. We started recording this studio I'm in right now in 2017. Later on in 2017. August.
July or August, maybe.
And then last October you moved to Illinois, so we started doing it remote, which we kind of had some experience doing at the beginning of when COVID and the pandemic started in 2020. We did it remotely for a little bit. And that's something I always bring up too, is we didn't stop in 2020 when a lot of people stopped.
Right.
We just
kept the
pedal down.
Yeah. It was rough.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. Somehow we always got an hour. I don't know how we did it. Looking back, and I need to go back and listen to our shows back then just to see what we talked about, because there wasn't anything going on.
A lot of lists, and we had to get creative, which
I remember we did like a trivia segment, like 10 or 15 trivia questions each week for each of us, so that was kind of fun. But I don't know how we did it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, episode 300 is going to happen in August. I think it's mid-August. I'm thinking we need to incorporate some trivia or something kind of fun that we don't normally do for episode 300. So
I agree.
Yeah, but a lot to talk about tonight, J-Man.
Yes, sir.
Crazy weekend around the sports world. We're going to talk about Justin Thomas winning his second PGA Championship of his career in a wild comeback that saw him beat Will Zalatoris in a playoff. Got some NBA NBA conference finals action going on. MLB, things are moving hot and heavy like always. Mm-hmm. And then Indy 500 coming up this weekend, so I'm going to have to make my prediction for that.
I always forget. I can't believe it's Memorial Day already.
I know. It's I can't believe
today. It's crazy.
We're almost done with the fifth month of the year. It's 2022 is flying by.
It's going to be June next week. It's insane.
Yes, it is. But we'll just keep on keeping on, as they like to say. I got some birdie bogey for you this week.
All righty.
Let me get the banner up here. It's NBA related. Imagine that. I had 3 questions, but I narrowed it down this afternoon, and I picked this one just a few minutes ago.
Just give me a bogey now.
I don't know. Maybe you'll get it. Bam Adebayo. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I always butcher it.
Adebayo.
Adebayo. He became
I'm a huge Heat fan.
Oh, man. Yeah, always have been. He became the 4th starting center to lead a team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a playoff win since steals and blocks became official in 1973-74.
73, okay.
Can you name those other 3 centers?
Man, 3 of them. A couple guys come to mind. They're probably not remotely correct, but That's a good question there. And Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Yeah! It's your veggie.
Gosh, that sounds like it hurt.
Felt pretty good, actually. I think I needed to get that one off my chest.
Need to clear your throat a little bit there?
Just a little bit. Gotta get the smooth talking to get out. So,
well, here's one of the other trivia questions I was going to give you, and decided not to. And I want to see if it was smart of me not to give you this one, or if it wasn't. Luka Doncic, over the weekend, he has eclipsed 800 plus career postseason points. He joined what two players as the only players in NBA history with 800 points through their first 25 career playoff games?
LeBron, one of them?
He is not. All right, I should have gave you this one.
Jordan didn't get that far.
Michael Jordan is one of them. So
he is one of them. Kobe?
No, good guess though.
I don't know.
Wilt Chamberlain.
I should just guess Wilt regardless, because it seems like he's in a trivia question answer every single week. Yeah.
Wilt had 867 points. Jordan had 917.
Yeah, Jordan was he's a pretty good ball player.
Not bad.
How many does Doncic have?
Well, the other night, this was on Friday. He needed 29 entering Friday, and he got that, and then he got more last night. So, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's only 21, maybe
21 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was I doing when I was 21 years old? Nothing. I was doing nothing.
I could share some stories, but I won't.
Yeah,
I won't.
Yeah.
I'll save the nation for maybe for another day. But here's another quiz question I was thinking about, a Birdie Bogey question. This one was golf. So I decided not to do that, but I want to see if you can do this. Name 5 of the 10 golfers under 50 with 2 or more major wins.
Under 50, 2 or more major wins. Well, we got there's 5 of them.
There's 10, but I want to see if you could name 5.
Gotcha. Brooks Koepka.
Yep.
Rory.
Yep.
Jordan Spieth.
Yep.
Justin Thomas, has he won another one besides
he's
yesterday?
won 2 PGAs, so that's 4.
There's 4 under 50 majors. Under 50. Let's see. Is John Rahm won 2, or is he just won 1?
Just won 1.
Under 50. Sergio's just won 1, correct?
Just won 1. Yep.
And he's under 50, I imagine. Under 50. Is Tiger 50 yet?
Tiger Woods is one of them. He's 47, I believe, or 48. Okay. I thought you were going to forget him.
Yeah. I was thinking, is he 50? Is Phil 50 yet?
Yeah, he turned 50 last year when he won the PGA Championship.
Gotcha.
So there's 4 guys you haven't named. You've named 6 so far.
4 guys under 50. I don't know.
Dustin Johnson.
Oh, should have got him.
Bubba Watson.
Oh, should have got him. Played on a torn meniscus, too.
Zach Johnson.
I almost said Zach Johnson. I didn't know if he was 50, and I didn't know if he had won 2.
And Martin Keimer, that one I knew you wouldn't get.
Yeah, I should have gotten Dustin and Zach Johnson and Bubba.
Yep. Yeah, you did better. You did better at that than I thought you would, so I'm glad I didn't give you that one.
Very disappointed in myself.
Well, what do you want to start off with? You want to start off with some golf talk, some NBA talk?
Well, yeah, we can talk some golf. I admittedly did not watch a single second of golf this weekend, so you're going to have to carry this one.
It was an interesting PGA Championship. You know, it started off with your boy. Rory came out hot out of the gates on Thursday. It's like, all right, this is what he needed to do. And then he kind of just, especially on the weekend, just didn't really put it together, except yesterday he hit the ball great, but he couldn't get a putt to fall. I mean, if he makes a couple putts, he's right there in the mix at the end.
It was bizarro world, Rory, where he plays well the first two days and then sucked on the weekend.
Yeah, it was quite the opposite of what he's been doing for the last, I don't know how long, but going into yesterday, a lot of people probably aren't familiar with. He was a silver medalist last year at the Olympics. Mito Pereira from Chile. He was at 9 under par, 3-stroke lead on the field. And, when it comes to sports, it's always kind of uncomfortable to see choke jobs happen or collapses, especially
individual sports.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to him. I mean, he was going into the 18th hole. If he pars, he wins. Of course, the group in front of him was playing too, so it kind of mattered what happened with them. But it looked like, okay, if he bogeys, he's at least in the playoff. And he double bogeyed because he hit his drive in the water. I mean, the worst swing he could put on it. And then he got his third, went over the green, chipped on. His fourth went through the green, and then he missed the fifth putt from the fringe, and ended up costing himself quite a bit of moolah, quite a bit of dinero, quite a bit of money, if you want to call it. Let's see how much. I had this earlier today on my phone. He would have won $2.7 million if he got a par on the 18th hole. Instead, with his double bogey, he got a tie with Cam Young, and he made $870,000. Still a great payday. Don't get me wrong, but he lost $1.83 million on that last hole.
Can you imagine how he's feeling today?
Probably didn't sleep well last night.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't.
Probably didn't sleep well.
I had never heard of him. Has he been in contention before anywhere?
I know he hadn't had a tour win. Like I said, he was a silver medalist in the Olympics, but I wasn't real familiar with him until this weekend either.
How old is he?
He's pretty young. I mean, you got to think he's going to be back there. But shooting 5 over par yesterday doesn't sit well with you. I can't. But Justin Thomas entered yesterday 7 strokes back, 2 under par. Wasn't doing too much in his round, and got hot at the end. Ended up shooting 3 under par. Makes a big putt missed a putt on the last hole that a lot of people thought he needed that to maybe potentially get in a playoff. But it ends up he got in the playoff with Will Zalatoris, who was the leader after 2 rounds. And Zalatoris shot 1 over par yesterday, made a huge putt on the last hole, which he needed to get into the playoff. So the PGA Championship, how they do their playoff, it's 3 holes. So Justin and Will both birdied the first one. The second one's a reachable par 4. Justin drove the green with a fairway wood. It was like 306 yards. Zalatoris did not drive it. Zalatoris ends up getting par. Justin birdies. And then on the last hole, Justin, I think he got a par. And then Zalatoris, I think, parred or bogeyed. It didn't matter. Justin ended up winning a 3-hole playoff, winning his second PGA Championship. And I was reading this morning, he's 29 years old. His career earnings is almost $50 million.
Wow.
Yeah, he's won, only 2 majors, the 2017 PGA Championship and this one, but he's also won a Players. He's won a lot of other big non-major events. And the crazy thing is, coming into this major, he had only 1 top 10 in the majors in like his last 10 attempts. He wasn't playing good in the majors, and it just clicked for him yesterday when needed, and it was tied for the 3rd largest comeback in major history, 7 strokes.
That's crazy. What's the largest?
10. And I think 99 or 2000 Open Championship.
Who was that?
I saw it today, and I wasn't familiar with the name. But it just proves you just keep grinding. You never know.
Yeah.
He said he even was looking over the field the night before, and he knew a lot of those guys ahead of him hadn't won majors, so he was hoping they could feel some pressure. And yeah, pressure gets you in golf big time.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, all the eyes are on you, and it's you. You don't have any teammates you can fall back on. Nothing. It is all you. And I can't imagine the type of pressure they feel.
Especially, coming down on 18 when everybody's there, or in the playoff when it's just you and the other guy, and everybody's watching. But it was a good PGA Championship. I thought it was a good major. For coming into yesterday, I'm thinking this is going to be the Masters all over again with somebody just runs away with it. But it was drama-filled, and that certainly wasn't the case. It was drama-filled over all weekend. You had Tiger Woods grind, scratch, claw, battle to make the cut, and then just look awful Saturday. Shot a 9 over 79, which was his 3rd highest score ever in a major. His knee was it's in bad shape. it was. I mean, I'm not even a Tiger Woods fan, and that was uncomfortable to watch. And the darn TV cameras show every single shot of it.
Every single shot.
If anybody else is playing that bad, maybe Jordan Spieth, because they showed quite a few of his when he was playing bad over the weekend. But anybody else, they don't show that many shots of. And I'm not optimistic that Tiger plays in the U.S. Open next month. Because the U.S. Open, I mean, they make that course as tough as possible. The rough's extremely high. That's not going to be easy on your knee. Maybe he just needs to take time off and try to play the Open Championship in July because it's at St. Andrews and everything. But I honestly, J-Man, I just don't know if we're ever going to see Tiger be able to play 72 consecutive holes of golf ever again.
Yeah, and we've said it before. He's lucky to be walking or even alive at this point. So, yeah, I mean, he's tried his best to get back, and, of course, he wants to play in the majors and all of that. But he's got to start thinking about his knee more so in his career. He's made $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like he's needing money.
No.
So, I can't believe he's only 47, too. It's
I mean,
crazy.
what he does on the golf course still to even make the cut after what he went through, that horrific car accident, it's unbelievable. I mean, the guy – he's just built unlike any athlete really I've ever seen, or at least definitely any golfer. And he's good for the ratings. I get that, but it was just hard to watch Saturday. And I wasn't surprised that he withdrew Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yesterday's round.
He was looking at maybe even a dead last finish of the guys that made the cut. So
and he darn near did that at the Masters too. So, but Scotty Scheffler, speaking of the Masters, defending major champ, didn't make the cut this weekend. Dustin Johnson didn't make the cut. Dustin Johnson's not having a very good year. Brooks Koepka made the cut, but didn't do much. I mean, a lot of the big names were just not in contention this weekend. I mean, you look over the top 10, Justin Thomas wins, Will Zalatoris second, Cameron Young and Mito Pereira tie for third, Tommy Fleetwood, Chris Kirk tie for fifth, and Matthew Fitzpatrick, Roy McIlroy eighth, Brendan Steele and Tom Hoagie tied for ninth, as did Abraham Answer and Seamus Power. And then you got Terrell Hatton, Justin Rose, Cameron Smith, Xander Schauffele, Davis Riley, Lucas Herbert, Max Homa, all tied for 13th. So, I mean, that's not your who's who of golf by any means.
Not a bunch of household names. No. I will say that this is now the second straight major that I have booked Rory, and he has finished in the top 10. Which
it's coming. It's coming, J-Man.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, he shows flashes that he's still Rory McIlroy. I mean, I know he was jokingly holding his son in the media center on like Wednesday, I think, and it was a picture of him hoisting the trophy in 2014. And he said, "That's when Dad was actually good." He was over her saying, so it's eating him up a lot inside because he's 33 years old. I mean, these guys are getting old. I mean, age doesn't slow down for anybody, and golf just keeps getting all these young guys who are really, really good. Yep. I mean, Will Zalatoris, it's only a matter of time before he gets a major. I mean, what he's done in his first 10 career major starts is pretty incredible. So golf's in a good spot, but I don't know who, if anybody, can become golf's next superstar. Right.
I mean, they've had the Tigers, and then even Spieth to an extent was the superstar. But, I don't know if we'll ever see that level again.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be Rory after 2014. Looked like it was going to be Spieth. I mean, they've had good careers, but they haven't accomplished as much to date as everybody thought they would probably. Right. I mean, nobody's going to get Tiger level, but even if they could get as many majors as Phil or something.
Yeah, Spieth did it all super early, so you're expecting him to continue it, and it just hasn't happened. Of course, there's a little bit of luck involved with that as well.
Absolutely.
Everything has to go perfectly right, and it just hasn't gone that way for him.
Yep. I mean, it's good breaks and bad breaks. I mean, more times than not, PGA tournaments won by like a stroke or in a playoff. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, there's not a lot of separation between the guy ranked number 1 in the world and the guy ranked 100. There really isn't.
Yeah, not much.
I was happy to see Ricky Fowler make the cut this weekend and tie for 23rd. So if his putter could have got going over the weekend, he hit it well enough. He just couldn't make a putt. But a lot of guys hit it well enough and just couldn't make a putt. But I think his game's starting to head in the right direction. I mean, it's nice to just see him make back-to-back cuts in tournaments. And he's playing again this week in the Charles Schwab Challenge down in Texas. So we'll see if he can maybe get in the winner's
Yeah,
circle.
at least he's making cuts again because it'd been a minute since
Oh,
he's
yeah.
consistently done that. Even
he's not in the U.S. Open field yet. He's got a qualifier on June 6th. He had that last year and didn't make it, so hopefully maybe he'll make it through the qualifier this year. We'll see. But, the next major will be Father's Day week and weekend, the U.S. Open. I mean, it's incredible. We're already halfway through the majors, and I think there's only like 13 or 14 golf tournaments left for the calendar year.
Wow.
So while it's like I'm looking at the FedEx Cup point stands, I'm like, it's early. It's not really early. It just feels like that because you got to think the new season starts in October every year now with the wraparounds. So it's but it was a fun tournament to watch as a golf fan. I got to think even some non-golf fans probably appreciated the drama because playoffs
People
are
like
fun.
drama. Yeah,
playoffs are fun.
Same reason non-college basketball fans tune into the NCAA tournament,
right?
And all of that. So
right, and then Phil Mickelson, of course, was in the headlines all week since he wasn't defending his PGA Championship, and who knows if we'll see Phil in 2022 or not. If I had a guess, I would say probably not.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know, it's just too bad. He should have been celebrated this week, and
I wonder if he'll even play in any PGA Tour events at all.
Yeah, I would guess no right now, but we'll see. We'll see. I think he'll come back eventually. It's just got to be on his own terms.
Yeah.
So and Phil was still kind of in the storylines over the weekend though, because his former caddy, before they had a split, and he got with his brother, Jim Bones Mackay, is on Justin Thomas's bag now and won a major, his first career major caddying without Phil. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, that was happy for Bones. Seems like a real good guy. He was on the part of the NBC crew the last 2 years, and Justin got him off the crew late last year and got him on the bag. So
cool.
A nice little payday for him too, as well, because caddies usually get 10% of the winnings plus whatever their player wants to give them, if any additional. So he made out pretty good yesterday. So, but I don't think I have any more final thoughts. I'm already looking forward to watching the U.S. Open next month.
What you want to talk about now? You want to talk some NBA here?
Yeah, NBA conference finals rolling on. Tonight's game 4 between the Heat and Boston Celtics. The Heat have a 2-1 lead in that series. Road teams are getting it done so far.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 games at least. And then we got the Warriors in a 3-0 lead over Dallas. I think Dallas is hook, line, and sinkered. I think they're done.
Yeah, I think they're done as well. I think I said last week I'll give Dallas the benefit of the doubt and say it goes 6, although I wanted to say it goes 5. I don't think it goes more than 4, to be honest. I think Golden State wraps it up. For a team that's separated by only 1 game in the standings, I mean, the Warriors went 53-29, and Dallas went 52-30. The gap is pretty massive between those two right now.
Well, it's interesting you say that because my dad sent me a text message right when we got on air. He said the Mavericks have 3 first-round picks on their team. Doncic, Green, who hardly plays, was number 18, and Bullock was number 25. Golden State has 9 first-rounders, including 6 picked in the first 14 picks. The only non-first-rounder in Golden State's first 10 players is Draymond, who went 35th. Just the reason why Golden State.
Yeah, Draymond was. Yeah, they're pretty stacked. Even, I mean, they had those 2 down years, and they still get to draft a Jordan Poole, who's averaging 18 points a game this year, and they still got to draft a James Wiseman, who's not playing, but
right.
Yeah, they've been pretty fortunate, and then they've hit on their first round picks too, because some teams don't do that. I mean, they obviously hit on Steph Curry, hit on Klay Thompson, and those guys weren't even consensus like these guys are for sure lottery picks even.
Right.
So they've gotten pretty fortunate. And then getting a Draymond Green, who's a 6-time all-defensive player, a great passer. They've had some luck to that as well, which, I mean, a lot of it is luck when it comes to the draft.
Sure. And, I've watched actually more NBA, especially the Western Conference Series, than I have all year. I flipped it on, I think it was second quarter, when Dallas was up 19 in game 2. And I'm watching that, and I was watching it with my cousin's husband, and Golden State just kept clawing. And I even said, when they got down like 14, I said, Golden State's going to win this game. I could just tell momentum was starting to go that way. And even after Luka hit that ridiculous long three right before half. It just felt like Golden State was just primed to make a run. Draymond goes out of the game. Golden State plays better when he's out. Start hitting threes, and man, it flipped, and they end up winning pretty comfortably at the end. It was just right when Dallas lost out. I'm like, this series is over.
Yeah, it's like the doubt crept into Dallas's mind.
Right.
Like, oh crap, here we go. Just giving Golden State any sort of hope. You never want to give any teams any sort of hope, but especially a team like Golden State who's been there and done that and won all these championships. You give them any sort of glimmer that they could possibly win, and they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Yeah, I don't think Dallas even gets one tomorrow night. I think it's over.
No,
it's 4-0 over.
I agree. I think. I think Dallas loses, and Golden State moves on to the finals again. First time in a couple years, but
but I still have Warrior fatigue. Really, I mean, they're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong; they are fun to watch, but I'm like, I really want Dallas to win. I don't even care for either Eastern Conference team that much.
It happens in every sport. Like
it does.
I didn't mind Clemson at all. Like I kind of like Clemson. They were kind of the team. Okay, they hovering around 9-3 every year, and then they took to the next step and started winning college football championships. Can't stand them anymore. Alabama kind of the same way. They weren't that great before Saban got there.
Right.
Now I can't stand them. The one kind of team that I haven't gotten overly sick of that's won quite a bit is Villanova basketball. I don't know why that is, but sick of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I've been there for a while.
Yeah, for you've been there a lot longer than I have. So that happens, and now you get Golden State back. I mean, I don't really have Miami Heat fatigue. I think I had LeBron fatigue when he was there, but I wouldn't mind Miami winning.
No, like we were talking last week. I think it was they're one of the most underrated sports franchises in our lifetime.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Yeah, easily. I mean, they won without LeBron. They did it with Wade back in the mid 2000s, and then you get LeBron, and really the Heat haven't been around that long. Maybe since the late 80s.
Yeah, maybe. I think it was like 89,
early 90s, maybe even.
Magic came in, I think, together. Maybe I'm gonna look that up.
The Heat have been around, since 88, 89, so they haven't been around that long.
When did the Magic come into the league?
And Spoelstra's been a heck of a coach.
Was the Magic and Heat like a double dose of Florida expansion?
I don't know. It would make sense.
89, it says, for the Magic.
For Orlando as well. So they must have come in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Magic came in 89, 90. So they were the next year.
Okay.
After. And really, they had a lot of success right away, too. They weren't good their first 4 years, but then they drafted Shaq and Penny Hardaway, and it turned it around quickly.
That's a good 30 for 30. If you haven't watched it, I just watched it the other day on the 90s Magic.
Watched it.
Oh, it's really good. It's you walk away, you're like, how did that team not win more with Shaq and Penny? And Shaq wanted to stay in Orlando, and Orlando screwed it up. He goes to LA, Penny blows out his knee, and the rest was kind of history.
Yeah. Illini great Nick Anderson missed a bunch of free throws in the finals. That might have been different, but
yeah, those it's fun to go back and watch the 1990s NBA, even though the Bulls dominated. I mean, the Knicks were good, the Pacers were good, the Rockets were good, my Sonics were good, the Jazz were good.
Utah was good.
Yeah,
your Sonics.
Yeah.
I got on like a YouTube like rabbit hole the other day, and like I watched like final out of the World Series from like 1946 on, which was kind of fun. But then I watched like the final 10 seconds of each NBA finals from the past like 30 years or something. It was just kind of fun to see the celebrations from 1990 up until 2021. And it's a lot different back in the day.
Oh, sure. And we're talking about back in the day and all these teams that win the finals over the years. The Celtics haven't won the finals since 2008, but I still really want to see them win because they've won so much, and it seems like they're always around.
I think I said this last week, they've been to exactly half of the Eastern Conference finals.
That's crazy.
Like 37 of the 74 or something like that.
That's crazy. But
just ridiculous.
I mean, they are fun to watch, though. I mean, they got some players that are really fun. I mean, how can you not enjoy watching Tatum and even Marcus Smart? He's a lot better NBA
Right.
player than I ever thought he was going to be.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, first guard to win NBA Defensive Player of the Year since Gary Payton in the 90s.
Yep. And Gary Payton went and gave him that award, presented it to him, which was pretty cool out of practice.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We might know the finals matchups this time next week.
I would say we do. Although I do believe that the Celtics Heat is shaping up to go 7, which will be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily who that helps. If it helps Golden State because they get that week off, or does it help the team that goes 7 because they're kind of fresh?
You could. Not sure. I could see either side of it. I mean, so far the conference finals have been a bunch of blowouts. Really?
Yeah. It's
the series of the West, I guess.
Yeah, the series could go 7, but all the games are terrible. Like, does that even make it fun? There's no drama at all.
Right.
But here's what it is.
Speaking of the NBA, though, the NBA draft lottery was held last week. And, of course, the Indiana Pacers get their highest pick they've had since 89, but still not a top 5 pick as they're going to be picking number 6.
Yeah, they cannot catch a break with that, can they?
They cannot. I'm fully prepared for Keegan Murray or somebody like that, which would be fine.
Keegan Murray's good. He might go higher than that, though.
He might. It's going to be interesting. I mean, maybe Jaden Ivey falls to 6, but I don't see him falling past Detroit at 5 if he's there. I think he'd pair with Cade Cunningham really well. I know
two guys that play zero defense but can score a lot of points.
Right. If he would happen to go there, that's Purdue fans' new favorite team with him and Carson Edwards.
Easily.
Even if Keegan Murray goes to the Pistons, that's Iowa's new favorite team with him and Garza.
Garza, yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, the picks, you got number 1, Orlando Magic. They've had the second most picks, I think, in lottery history behind the Cavaliers. Second most number 1 overall picks, I believe. Number 2 is the Rockets, I believe. 3 is the Thunder.
I think they picked second last year, didn't they?
Yeah. 3 is the Thunders. 4 is the Kings. Hopefully Jaden Ivey doesn't go there. Sorry for whoever goes there. And then 5 is the Pistons. 6 is the Pacers. I don't remember who else rounds out the top 10 off the top of my head. But, yeah, it'll be interesting.
This actually will transition us perfectly into word association. It is an NBA word association. The NBA Draft Combine is being held in Chicago this week. So for whatever reason, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go back the past 15 drafts and see who the best second round pick was.
Ooh, I like that. That sounds
so fun. This one I went with my heart because although he is probably a top 2 second round pick, him and Herbert Jones are kind of the two from this past draft. But Ayo Dosunmu.
Ice in his veins. I just remember him hitting shots. I think it was against Ohio State in college and always doing the ice in his veins symbol. And he's had a pretty good rookie year for the Bulls.
Yeah, he even got he made the second team all rookie. And then he actually got a all defensive team vote from somebody. I don't know who voted for him, but he had a pretty good rookie year. Yeah, he was the most clutch Illini basketball player I've ever seen.
I think he's made a lot of teams regret passing on him.
Yeah,
so that's all he can do as a second rounder.
Yep. He if they were to do a redraft, he would be an easy first round pick at this point. But he's not, and I'm sure he's very happy with not being because he's in his hometown, Chicago. Number 2 here, Kenyon Martin Jr.
Kenyon Martin Jr. I didn't realize he was in the league.
He's with Houston.
I just remember his dad playing and being a pretty good role player. Well, I'd call him a role player. That was picked number 1 overall for the Nets and the Nuggets. I know he's on a few other teams, but those are the 2 I remember Kmart playing on. And, he was pretty good out of Cincinnati.
Daniel Gafford out of Arkansas. Do you know him?
I've heard the name. Couldn't tell you anything about him.
The Bulls took him and then traded him they traded him to Washington, I think. I forget who they got for him, though. It was last year. But, it was not a great second round, but he's been a decent player. Jalen Brunson.
Solid player. I think he'll be a solid role player in the league for many years to come. He's a good college player. It was a winner in college. And that always that always helps. I think when you're looking for second round picks, get a guy who's used to winning from college. I don't think you can. I don't think that can be overstated enough.
I think he's more than a role player, though. I mean, he's averaging 17 points a game for the Dallas Mavericks this year.
Well, they're kind of and everybody else, but
he's kind of hidden a little bit, but he's a starting point guard there. So he's had, I think, a better start to his career than most people thought.
Landing in a good spot.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Monte Morris.
Oh man, I forgot about that guy till right now. And is that Morris? That's a guard and not one of the Morris twins.
Correct.
That's a guard. Yeah. So he can fill it up. What team's he on?
I think he's with Denver.
Yeah, at least he was at one point. Now that you say that, yeah.
He out of Iowa State, had a good career there.
Yeah. Iowa State, man, they can produce some guards over the years.
Yeah. Malcolm Brogdon,
another winner.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny. Some of these guys you're mentioning, I get confused. Brogdon, and then I can't even remember who you just said, the point guard of the
Monte Morris.
No, the point guard of the Mavericks. Two ones ago.
Brunson,
yeah. I get those two confused a lot of times in my head for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, both guys won a bunch. I mean, Brogdon's out of Virginia.
Right.
Had a great rookie year, I remember, as a second-round pick.
Yeah.
But
I remember him from their championship run, of course.
He wasn't actually on their championship run. He was like the year before, I think.
Okay, so he was on the team that lost to UMBC then.
It might have been the year before that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Now that I think about it. Yeah.
They all kind of blends in together. I was thinking
their
19 team. Okay. I was mistaken. Try to put that team out of my memory, really.
Montrezl Harrell.
Louisville. I remember when he got drafted, I was like, this could be a steal for somebody, and he's been okay.
He's hanging around for
he's making a career for him. That's all you can really ask for a second rounder, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Very athletic, really good. Louisville.
Nikola Jokic,
back-to-back MVP. I mean, he'll probably go down as the best second round pick in NBA history.
He might already be.
I mean, he might already be. I don't want to misspeak and forget somebody from the old days, but yeah.
Mike Muscala.
Wow. He was a Hawk for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I just remember him from the 2K games, to be honest.
I remember him being on that Bucknell team that beat Purdue.
Yeah.
They beat Purdue.
Yeah.
Mike Muscala was on that
season opener, and that was the what year was that?
Like 13, maybe?
12-13 season. Yeah, DJ Bird had to be the main guy. That didn't work out very well.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton.
Loved playing with him on 2K.
Yeah, he's a good shooter.
He can shoot. The Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah.
That was a good second round class. They had like Jay Crowder, Draymond was in that one. That was a good second round.
Yeah, and he also had Plumlee, who the Pacers took. Miles.
Miles. Bojan
Bogdanovic. Another guy who's lasted a long time. Fun name to say.
Yeah.
Good shooter.
Hassan Whiteside.
Great defender.
Mm-hmm.
Was part of that interesting trade. Wasn't Miles Leonard part of that trade from Whiteside to Miami to Portland?
Portland to Miami. Yeah. Which we all know how that Leonard trade ended up.
He's not in the league anymore, is he?
No. He's made amends. Honestly, his slip up, although terrible, the dude's not very bright. Like he's not, and it doesn't surprise me that he had no idea the word he said, what it meant. But he's got to be smarter than that. But no, he's done a lot of like charitable work and made up for it big time.
That's good.
But yeah, I can't imagine. He's only 30 though, but I can't imagine he signs with another team. Danny Green.
Oh man, he's ultimate role player. Has been won championships, been on many teams. I remember watching him in the McDonald's All-American game up in South Bend, Indiana, before he went to UNC. Was a really good player at UNC for 4 years, and Yeah, he's been a solid NBA player.
Still, he just blew out his knee for Philadelphia though back a week or 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, he completely tore it. So who
he
knows
might be
how?
done.
Yeah,
at
what
his
I
age.
think he's 34 years old. So yeah, it's
a
bad
good
time
piece
for
for the
that.
Spurs teams for a long time.
Yes, yeah. DeAndre Jordan.
I didn't realize he was a second-round pick out of A&M. A really good player for the Clippers for a long time. Remember when Dallas thought they had him to a max contract, and then that somehow got fizzled out? I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was a Elvis Dumerville type fax machine situation or what. But he was a main part of those Clipper teams. I just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, he was a one and done at A&M. Didn't put up huge numbers there, so that might have been why he fell.
I wonder if he was on that team that Purdue beat in the second round. It would have been the 2010 NCAA tournament. Chris Kramer made a layup. No, he was not.
No, okay. Yeah, Jordan was like 08 or 09.
Okay.
It looks
right
like
before
draft,
it then.
so.
Okay.
Yeah. Last one here, Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol. That's a pretty good second-round pick.
Yeah, that's a good second-round pick.
His brother, Powell, was top 5 pick. But Mark, man, he was good for the Grizzlies. Him and Conley and Randolph, they had some studs, and they just couldn't make a lot of noise in the playoffs besides an upset once in a while in the first round.
Yeah, they had some good players there. Rudy Gay.
Jeff Green was a
Conley.
good defensive.
Jeff Green was there. Yeah, those were
Zebo,
good teams.
Yeah. Mike Miller for years.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for Word Association this week.
And the Word Association segment is brought to you by Proforma Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, they have over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815.
Do you want to do On This Day this week, or do you want me to do it?
Sure, I'll take it. I will take
Alrighty.
it. You just went through a long segment, so let's see what has happened on this day in the sports world on May 23rd. Looks like a lot of horse racing. Here's a good one. On this day, 1926, Chicago Cubs Hack Wilson, what a name, Hack, was the first to hit a home run off Wrigley Field's scoreboard.
Man, that was a shot.
That's a moonshot, man.
I believe, and this is a record that will never be broken in Major League Baseball history, but he has the single season RBI record. I forget what year it was, but he had, I think, 191 RBIs in a year, in a season.
Which a lot of runs better than.
Yeah, that won't even be touched, even remotely close.
On this day, 1960, for a good hitter, Hack, what a name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
On this day, 1962, Joe Pepitone became the second New York Yankee ever to hit 2 home runs in an inning. The other Yankee to do it before him was Joe DiMaggio.
Pretty good, Joe DiMaggio there. Joe Pepitone, yeah, he was a lot of guys like, I hear a lot of people like, I think Larry David and Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm always talk about Joe Pepitone.
On this day in 1984, the Detroit Tigers won an NL record-tying 16th straight road game.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers ended up winning the World Series that year, too. That team was loaded.
Yeah, that's the Road Warriors, man. 16 straight. Jeez. Let's say 1991, Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Tommy Green no-hit the Montreal Expos 2-0.
Never heard of Tommy.
Me neither. Let's see here. On this day in 2003, the New Jersey Devils beat the Ottawa Senators 4-3 to win the NHL Eastern Conference. On this day in 2010, the Chicago Blackhawks beat the San Jose Sharks, actually swept them 4-0 to win the NHL Western Conference. On this day in 2013, Patrick Waugh was named head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, his former team where he won 2 Stanley Cups. Went great his first year, went downhill after that, and he ended up resigning. So one of those situations where be careful what you wish for when you hire a legendary player.
It's tough to hire a legend. Definitely.
Usually doesn't end very well.
Yep.
On this day in 2018, NFL owners approved new NFL national anthem policy whereby players are required to stand if they choose to be on the field for pregame presentations. And on this day last year in 2021, Phil Mickelson became the oldest winner of a major in golf history as he won his sixth major, second PGA Championship by 2 strokes over Brooks Koepka and Louis Oosthuizen. Philly Mick. And that's going to do it for the On This Day segment, which is brought to you by Moody Woodcrafts. Moody Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated custom woodcraft shop based out of North Carolina with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs. From signs to growth charts, their custom pieces make a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. To see some of the recently completed projects, visit at Moody Woodcrafts on Instagram, or you can visit them on Facebook. And for any orders, contact them at mooneywoodcrafts@gmail.com. And I actually have, for all the viewers this week, I have one of Thad's latest completed projects here to show everybody. It's right there. It's a military sign he got done. And I know he sent me various images over the past few weeks of the progress. So for everybody that's watching, there it is. For everybody listening, go check out our stream on the ISC Sports Network Twitter page, Twitch channel, on their website itself, or on the Tan and J-Man Show Facebook page, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Very cool.
Yep.
This episode is brought to you by The Dam Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-bread tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, The Dam Landing is the place to be. The Dam Landing is located on beautiful Lake Manitou, focused on freshness and quality. You can wash down their delicious food with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether by boat or wheels, the Dam Landing is a place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
Yes, beer garden's open. I see they are going to be open on Memorial Day. Opening at 11 a.m. till question mark. So mostly everybody's got the day off Monday for Memorial Day. So go get yourself some damn good pizza or burgers or whatever you want. Everything's good there.
They got some dang good food there.
And while we're talking about Memorial Day programming, note, we will still be live next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes,
so please join us.
The two worst teams, in my opinion, in the National League are playing as we speak in Cincinnati. The Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds.
What score?
Two horrendous teams. They're in the bottom of the second right now. There's no score. But the Cubs, fresh off winning, I think, 4 in a row, then found a way to lose 4 in a row. They are 7-16 at Wrigley, or 6-16.
Why is that, Josh?
At Wrigley. They're better on the road. I don't get it. I don't know if it's I
kind of one of those weird
don't
things.
Understand it. It could be the teams they're playing are better, which they're not, though. I mean, they had to play the Dodgers, had to play the White Sox, but yeah, I mean, they've played in Atlanta, in San Diego, in Arizona. I don't get it at all why they're so bad. But they have never started this bad at Wrigley Field, and only twice the Cubs started a season 6-15 at Wrigley Field. 2002 and 2022 are the
It's
only
probably not going to affect attendance numbers either.
Even it has affected attendance numbers. The problem is those tickets have already been bought. So instead of Tom Ricketts losing money, which is what we want him to do to sell the team, the tickets have already been bought. So it's just an empty stadium with people. I mean, people have already bought those tickets. The Cubs, in 1997, they started that season 0-14.
Oh my gosh! I wish J-Man was older and had Twitter back then.
Yeah, I wish. I don't remember that at all, mercifully. But that was the last time they had lost 15 of their first 21 home to win to open a season. So they're horrendous. They're a bad baseball team. A couple
nice roster you built there, Jed.
Yeah, nice roster, Jed. Nice pocketbook there, Tom Ricketts. A couple things here. Ildemaro Vargas, who was a Chicago Cub, but it was just designated for assignment. He was just terrible. But his WAR for the season was 0.1, was equal to or better than the WAR, wins above replacement, of 5 of the Cubs opening day starters. So that really tells you a lot about how bad that team is.
Wow. A lot of minor leaguers.
Couple good things of note. Keegan Thompson has been the second most valuable pitcher in baseball, according to wins above replacement. He's been fantastic for him coming out of the bullpen. He's a multi-inning reliever right now. He can also spot start. He's made a few starts, but I think we're going to see more and more teams go with multi-inning relievers, especially with their reluctancy to let a starting pitcher go third time through the order, because that's when damage gets done. Guys just aren't. We won't see days where there's a ton of complete games anymore. We just won't see years. And it's already started to do that 5 or 6 years ago. Guys just weren't throwing complete games anymore. But now that you can have these multi-inning relievers, kind of makes for an interesting wrinkle. And luckily the Cubs have a good one in Keegan Thompson.
Yeah, something they can hang their hat on, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's about it. Justin Steele, who's a young lefty pitcher for him, has been fantastic his past 2 starts. Kind of struggled there for a while, but now he's has back-to-back starts where he struck out double digits, which Cubs hadn't had that in I don't know how long. I think John Lester did it. But he and probably actually Yu Darvish probably did it. But as far as lefty goes, John Lester was probably the last one to do it for the Cubs. But he and the good thing is he did it against the same team. He faced the Arizona Diamondbacks last Sunday. Struck out 11, then struck out 10 Arizona Diamondbacks on Saturday. So back-to-back starts facing the same team, and he strikes out double digits. That's a good sign, especially since they've just seen him. And Justin Steele has only allowed 1 barrel so far this season, which is a better rate per plate appearance than any other qualified Major League Baseball pitcher. So he's missing the meaty part of the bat, which is huge.
Get the Man of Steel T-shirts printed.
Yeah. Yeah, so they have some things to kind of hang their hat on, Justin Steele and Keegan Thompson. The offense is terrible.
How's Suzuki doing?
Suzuki's been horrendous since about the second week of the year. He's hitting under 250 now, striking out a bunch. He's not even swinging the bat either. He's taking a lot of called third strikes, which is frustrating. So he's been bad. They've had some really weird injuries. Nico Horner runs into an umpire because the umpire wasn't paying attention. Nico hurts his ankle, and he's been out a few weeks now. Sounds like he's close to coming back because they need him at short. Some fun things, though. They called up one of their top prospects, Chris Morrell. I think he's their 16th or 17th ranked prospect.
Dude that hit the absolute bomb.
Yes, in his first career plate appearance, 3-2 count against Pittsburgh. Crowds on their feet.
That was a cool call by Pat Hughes.
Yeah, that was a really cool moment. 22 years old, born in 1999. Yeah, and so that's been cool. He's played everywhere so far. He started at third base, second base, center field, and now tonight he's starting at shortstop. So
that's a utility player if I've ever heard one.
Big time, fast, athletic. So hopefully they'll keep him up. And then another guy, Brandon Hughes, made his major league debut. Same night, Chris Morrell hit that homer. He became the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to record 5 outs in his major league debut, with all 5 of them being via the strikeout. He pitched an inning and 2/3, struck out 5. He's the only pitcher in Major League history to do that. So that was a really cool moment. Converted outfielder, too, out of Michigan State. They drafted him as an outfielder, and I think it was the 18th round in I don't remember what year, but they converted him to pitcher, and he's been really good out of the bullpen here this week. So that's kind of fun. Couple other things, though. The minor league organizational standards combined record of the 4 affiliates, the Cubs have the best record in baseball, 96 and 62. So hopefully that can translate to the major league level here in a few years, hopefully next year, as soon as next year, because I can't do another year. I have never been more apathetic towards the Chicago Cubs than I have been this year. I was mad.
May.
I was mad yesterday when they won. Like, I was mad because I hate watching these guys. And I mean, I'm happy for Patrick Wisdom, Frank Schwindel. Like, you know what? You're getting your shot at the major league level. Congratulations. That's awesome. But the fact that these guys are starting every day and hitting 5th, 6th, it makes me mad because there's zero reason why the Cubs can't
Yeah.
be the LA Dodgers.
Yeah.
Being good every single year. It really ticked me off yesterday. Speaking of Frank Schwindel, though, it was kind of interesting 2 Sundays ago, he got sent down to AAA. But they called him right back up a few hours later because they had a COVID outbreak and they had some injuries. But the interesting wrinkle to that is he got called down to AAA. He was going to drive the 5 hours from Wrigley Field to Principal Park in Des Moines, Iowa. But he discovered a nail in his tire. So it was Sunday night and no shops were open to get it taken care of. So he was going to wait till the morning and then drive. If he would have made that drive to Des Moines, he probably wouldn't have been called back up because it would have been a lot more difficult for him to get a straight flight to San Diego out of Des Moines, Iowa than it is out of O'Hare in Chicago. So that might have saved him. And ever since he's been essentially backup, he never officially went down. He's actually hit about 280 and he's hit a couple homers. So maybe that was the thing to get him going. But
that's pretty wild.
Yeah. The Cubs' first base situation went from one of the best in baseball under Rizzo to one of the worst I've ever seen. So,
yeah. Not good.
No.
Not good.
Cubs are bad. Reds are bad. This will be the J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week. I forgot to do one so far. Cubs are bad. Reds are bad. I don't think the Cubs are any better than the Reds, and I think the Cubs get swept in a 4-game series this week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You better hope not.
I actually am. I'm hoping so. I am hoping so. I want to tank this year. There's no point in winning games at this point.
Is it worth your phone getting blown up by a few Reds fans?
I think the Reds fans are smart enough to realize that both teams are horrendous. You would think.
Yeah.
But one Reds fan has a little bit too much going on this week to worry about it. But
very true. Happy birthday, Andrew.
Happy birthday, Andrew. The J-Man's Book of Prediction of the Week is brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com. Looking elsewhere around baseball, unless you have something.
Nope. I was going to... nope. Go ahead.
Dodgers had won 7 in a row, and then they lost yesterday. Yankees continue to just go scorched earth on everyone.
Had a bad weekend, though.
Wasn't a great weekend against the White Sox. Not a terrible weekend, but they went.
First time in a home doubleheader, they've scored only 1 run since 1991.
Wow.
Yeah, not very good.
They're sitting there at 29-12, though.
Yeah, they're fine, but I mean.
Oh yeah, they're fine. They're probably the best team in baseball.
They got
Aaron
the best
Judge
of the White Sox last week, so.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is probably the AL MVP right now.
Right there.
I don't know who would be MVP in the National League. It's kind of wide open, but the Mets, man, they're 28-15. They're already 8 games up. Maybe
they're fighting injuries too. So
yeah, they're always fighting something. Each other.
Yeah.
Injuries. But yeah, they're 8 games up already on Atlanta.
It's kind of annoying.
It's getting late there.
I know, it's getting real.
It's getting real. But that's I think all I'm gonna talk about baseball this week. So.
Yeah, Indianapolis 500 before we get to the Birdie Bogey. It happens this weekend. It is I don't know which running it is of the 500. It's quite a few. One guy I'm going to be watching pretty closely is Jimmy Johnson. Yes, that's right. Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR legend, is running 12th on the starting grid. Had some pretty impressive speeds going on last week. So interested to see how he does, but I got to go with the pole sitter Scott Dixon as my favorite to win.
I can honestly say I don't have a guess, or not guess, but a
prediction
pick. Because honestly, besides Jimmy Johnson, I couldn't name. Is Helio Castroneves? Is he still?
He is. He's starting towards the back, 27th, but he's always a good pick.
I'm going to pick him.
Juan Pablo's
just to have a pick.
Juan Pablo Montoya's 30th. Marco Andretti's 23rd. Graham Rahal 21st. Alexander Rossi 20th. Connor Daly 18th. J.R. Hildebrand 17th. Will Power 11th. Kumo Sato, 2-time champs, 10th. Ed Carpenter's 4th. Tony Kanaan 6th. So just some names you might have heard of.
Heard a few of those guys.
Should be a fun race like it typically is. So
Hit me with that birdie bogey.
Yes, Birdie Bogey this week. Let me get back to it again. Bam, help me out here again.
Adebayo
became the fourth starting center to lead a team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a playoff win since steals and blocks became official in 1973. Who are the other three centers?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He is one.
Is Jokic one?
No.
Shoot. Two for a par.
Yep. And you got one more guess to try
One
to
more
get
guess.
that.
Oh man.
You're one stroke ahead going into this week.
I gotta go. Oh man. Bill Russell.
No.
Please don't be Wilt.
It wasn't Wilt either.
Dang, okay, that makes me feel better.
Hakeem Olajuwon
Oh shoot.
and Dikembe Mutombo.
I wouldn't have guessed Mutombo. I should have thought of Hakeem.
We are tied again.
Yeah.
5 over par.
We're terrible.
We're not very good.
We're horrendous.
Wrap us up, J-Man.
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. We'll be back at it next Monday on Memorial Day. Have a fantastic week, everybody.